Solo Shots on the Sweet Spot is brought to you by Dothan Cosmetic Dentistry, Westside Auto Care, and Supreme Striping. Welcome to Solo Shots on the Sweet Spot. I'm your host, Corey Bradley, joined by Houston Academy Raiders quarterback Kadyn Mitchell. Kadyn, I appreciate you coming to the Sweet Spot, my guy.
No problem.
Yeah, man. So with the Sweet Spot, when I play ball, there was no better feeling than hitting the ball in a sweet spot of the bat. For you, though, in the game of football, what's your sweet spot moment? What gives you chills? What just that moment where you're home and thinking about it and living it over and over? What is it about football that you just absolutely love?
I love, of course, my favorite part about football is just my team, and
Yeah.
I think just being here, I feel home and things like that. And under Coach Brundage, of course, I started out with Coach Riggs,
Yeah.
but after Coach Riggs retired and Coach Brundage came along, it just hit like a little different, and it just felt. Everything just felt real.
Yeah.
And then Coach Jacobs tagged along, and he made a big impact on me and just made me love the game more than I did.
Yeah.
Because I know we struggled my eighth grade year, my first year, and so it's just like you're gonna question things, but we ended up turning things around, making the playoffs ninth grade, and then we had our season 10th grade and 11th grade, and it just made me love the game even more. And I'm like, I love this stuff.
So when you're playing, you play offense and defense. Is there a particular play or like a beautiful dime or interception? What gives you chills as far as making plays when you're on the field?
I think probably my chill moment is like throwing like a medium range route that could just go.
Yeah.
So like throwing it to Rod across the middle of the field, or throwing it to Will Wells, or now we got a bunch of receivers I could throw it to. So just them like crossing just a mid pass, just about 20-yard pass. They can just take it all the way. That's just gets the crowd hype, gets some crunk, and I mean, it got me storming down the field. It's just a chill moment. It just doesn't even feel real because how loud it gets.
Yeah.
Because HA is going to support.
Always, man. HA Raiders, they show up no matter where, no matter what sport. They definitely get it done. What's your best part of your game? What would you consider to be the best asset and facet of your game?
I think for me, I feel, of course, everybody said they can throw a pretty ball. I think I throw a ball pretty well, but I think what I'm ahead of the game with is thanks to Coach Jake. I'm ahead of the game for a high school kid, knowing how to read just about every coverage that's thrown at me. And people don't really go off if this guy blitzes, you got to throw it here or tell your receiver to run this.
Yeah.
And so he's just put me in that situation with his college style offense to expose me to just about anything that the defense could throw at me. So I think that's probably where I set myself apart from.
Man, I love that, dude. So not just the physical aspect, but the intellect of the game.
Yeah.
You started quarterback on the varsity football team for the Raiders as an 8th grade quarterback. How has your game evolved since your 8th grade year?
Well, 8th grade, I was kind of timid, scared to mess up with Coach Riggs. And then come 9th grade year, I was scared, I couldn't read anything. I was just known to throw it to this person if he's open, just backyard football. But then Coach Jake came along in my 9th grade year, I really struggled. I threw 5 interceptions in the first 2 games of the season.
Yeah.
And so just that tough kind of style of play just forced me to learn and forced me to do things that I was uncomfortable with, and that's what he told me. He said, "I'm gonna make you as uncomfortable as possible while you're practicing, so when the game comes, people don't really change defenses." So I think that like over the years, I've just grown as a person and mentally, because he was very, very hard on me. So it takes a mental impact too, and so him and Coach B and just him staying on me just made me build my character as well as my game.
How does Coach Jacobs and Coach Brundage make it difficult in practice as to make you best prepared for the game when it comes? What are some things that throw at you?
It's hard, but they make practice hard because they want us, of course, they want to make practice harder than the game, so when the game comes, it's nothing. But they're not going to let you get away with anything. If you mess up, somebody's going to see it, somebody's going to say something about it, and things like that. And we'll redo a play 180 times if we have to. So, I mean, it's annoying at points, because you're doing what's right and nobody else or somebody else is messing up, but we're going to get it until everybody's on the same page. And then just the workout room, AJ does a good job with working out. and having a workout come out here is not easy. I mean, you're already fatigued, and you have to push through practice. And after going out there, going in the weight room and lifting, and then coming out here, it's like you're tired, but then you're still getting yelled at out here. So it's just hard. It takes a mental toll on you that you just have to push through.
So with number 2, man, you wear number 2 in football, baseball, basketball. What's the reason for the number 2?
My dad grew up wearing number 2, and so he told me, or I seen him wearing number 2 when he played men's league softball, and I told him, I said, "Can I wear number 2?" And he gave me number 2, and ever since then I've just stuck with it. He said it was like a family tie thing, so I just try to stick with it, and hopefully wherever I go after this, I can get that too.
Yeah. So when we look at the number 2 during the games, football, everyone's 2 eyes are focused on number 2.
Mm-hmm.
How are you still the one to get things done for the team? How are you still the one, regardless of the offense, the defense, the opposition, the opposing fans? Everyone's 2 eyes are focused on you. Yeah. How are you still the one to get it done?
It's just, I don't know. I feel like everybody puts their trust and focus into me.
Yeah.
And like my teammates, if they have any type of question, I mean, Coach Jacobs puts that pressure on me too. He'd be like, "I promise you, he knows." And so all that pressure comes on me. So I mean, it forces me to have to know what everybody's doing. And then like the opposing team that Whitspur's head coach, there'd be times where he interviewed during the or before we played them last year, and he'd be like, "Yeah, their quarterback," and it's like when the game comes, everybody's their quarterback. That's what all the people been talking, their quarterback. So it's just, you have to stay calm, and I've always been taught by Coach Jacobs, my family, just you got to keep your composure, because I throw my body out by attitude, everybody's going to see that. Yeah, so it's not going to look good. So I've just always been taught to keep my composure and all, and my coaches helped me a lot with that, and so do my teammates.
So you talked about your sweet spot moment, the chills of a medium pass, intermediate pass, and having a receiver take it to the house, like Will Wells that you've had a connection with. Rod Jackson, who is no longer here with the program as he graduated. When you look at Rod and someone like Brady, who they combined for 37 touchdowns last year.
Yeah.
Who are some guys that are going to have to step up for this upcoming season? Who are some playmakers that we need to watch as fans that could be the new playmakers for the Raiders this upcoming year?
Well, in the running game, we have 3 different options, actually. We got Hughes Williams, Andrew Gill, and Irvin Reynolds. And so they're going to take a big toll on us this year, having to replace Brady, as he did a lot for us. And then, of course, Jeb was before that. So, I mean, Jeb already had big shoes to fill, and then Brady did a good job of that. And so now we actually have 3 options at the back position. But in the passing game, Brady Eubanks, he's going to have to step up a lot. I know he started last year, but he was the number 2 guy behind Rod, of course. Yeah. But he still did a good job, but he's going to have to be more into it. We have Houston Lee playing tight end, and Riggs Hickey, been our H-back for the past 2 years. I mean, great player. He plays his role well. And when he does get that ball in the flat, he's liable to do something with it. But then we also had a transfer come in, Gabe Glover.
Okay.
And so he transferred from Whitspur.
Yeah. So the Glover family, man.
So yeah, Gabe's gonna be a big part of this team, if he knows it or not. So that was a big pickup. Me and Coach B have a little conversations. We're like, man, this kid. I mean, he's gonna be special. He's been the guy we've been looking for after Rod leaving. And take nothing away from nobody else, because they're going to do their job. They're going to do great. But Gabe was a huge pickup for this team. So,
man, yeah, I know Gabe, man, and Slade and Jamie and Jackson, man. I know all of them, man. So, very, very great family, super talented family as well. We talked about the playmakers that the team will have to replace. The leadership, though. I mean, you had quite a few seniors who were very impactful in last year's group, with Cam Dyer, you had Sam, you had Rod, Mitchell, Brady. Like, how will your influence help the Raiders continue their winning ways?
Coach Wiggum, and I won the Coaches Award last year, and it means like the coaches pick a certain 2 players that they feel deserve the award, leadership and all that. And Coach Wiggins been telling me for the past couple of years, and he tells me, he's like, what you look like at practice or in the games is how everybody's going to respond. He said, you're the guy everybody's going to look to. You're the guy everybody's going to rely on to do the right thing. He said, so you have to keep your composure when something's not going well. And so I try to stay positive. Yeah, there's always going to be moments where I'm frustrated and I have bad body language, but then that's when everybody else has it. And me and Coach B has been talking about that I was a good leader, just not a very vocal leader. Okay. And so I'm trying to get outside my comfort zone by being more vocal this year, like Coach B's been talking about, and just trying to help this team get to play how we've been playing the past 2 years.
Man, you heard it here first. Kadyn Mitchell, quarterback for the Houston Academy Raiders. Look forward to seeing what they do, what God does for this guy here. Special talent, those who have been watching the last several years, as we alluded to him being quarterback for the Raiders since 8th grade as he prepares to enter his senior year. Kadyn Mitchell, I appreciate you coming on the show, my guy.
No problem.
Yes, sir.